At the table, Era behaved like someone auditioning for Best Guest of the Year. She praised the food, asked polite questions, admired the garden. Too polite. Too polished. Naya watched her closely. Ara never acted this friendly, not unless she had an agenda. After lunch, the men stepped out to smoke and check the grill. Her mother started clearing the plates. Nia reached for dishes, but Brenda touched her arm. "Nia, bug," she whispered. "Let her talk to you alone." "Here it comes," Nia thought. "About what?" "About your future with Marcus," her mother said with a sigh. They stepped out onto the screened porch. Evening had settled, carrying the scent of wet leaves. A peaceful scene Naya couldn't appreciate. "I'm listening," she said flatly. Ara sat in a wicker chair, crossing her legs with the posture of someone claiming the space as her own. "I'll be truthful," she began. "I don't like your marriage to Marcus." "That isn't exactly news." "Don't interrupt me." Ara's tone was sharp, metallic. "You've been married 8 years. No children. Marcus is miserable. How do you know that?" "He tells me," Ara said smoothly. "Every time we talk. He says you've drifted apart, that all you think about is your career, that there's no intimacy anymore." Nia's fists tightened. Marcus was discussing their private life with his mother. "Our relationship isn't your concern," Nia said. "My son is always my concern," Ara snapped. "He's my child. He's 38. He's still mine, and I want the best for him." "And the best would be what?" Nia shot back. "Some obedient little housewife who cooks and has babies on command." Ara's smile was thin and cold. "Perhaps. Or maybe you, if you changed. I won't change who I am, and if Marcus can't accept that." Nia trailed off, unsure how to finish. "You see," Ara said smugly, "even you don't believe in your marriage anymore. I'm only trying to help." "Help?" Nia laughed bitterly. "Help who?" "You. Marcus. Both of you." Ara leaned forward. "Break up. Calmly, maturely, before it gets uglier. Divide the property, settle everything, and move on. Marcus will be generous." When Naya stared at her, stunned, this woman had come to her father's birthday party to propose a divorce. "Are you out of your mind?" she asked quietly. "No, darling. I'm perfectly sane. I want my son happy. He's not happy with you. So we must fix that." "And Marcus? Does he even know about this suggestion?" Ara hesitated. Just a heartbeat, but Nia caught it. "We've discussed the situation in general. So, no. He doesn't know. He'll understand when the right moment comes." She sighed. "He's caught between a rock and a hard place. He loves his mother. He loves me. And he doesn't want to choose. But he will, sooner or later. I know. And I'm scared he'll choose her." Her father covered her hand with his large, warm, calloused one, worn from years of work. "Nia, bug, listen to me," her father said gently. "You're my daughter. Strong, smart, beautiful. You deserve a man who will love you and stand up for you. If Marcus can't do that, then he isn't your man." "But I love him, Dad." "Love is good. But love was never meant to be suffering. If being with someone makes you miserable, that's not love. That's habit. Or fear. A fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of admitting she'd chosen wrong. Fear of beginning all over again." Nia didn't respond. Her father's truth hit deeper than she expected. "I'm not saying you should run to court tomorrow," he continued. "I'm saying know your worth. Don't let anyone, your mother-in-law, your husband, anyone, trample you. You deserve better than that." "Thanks, Dad. And remember," he added, squeezing her hand, "no matter what happens, your mother and I are on your side. Always." Her mother came back with the teapot, and the conversation drifted to lighter topics, but her father's words kept echoing in her chest. "Value yourself. Don't let anyone humiliate you. You deserve better." Maybe it was finally time to stop tolerating and start acting. The next 2 days vanished in a blur. Naya helped her mother in the kitchen, cutting vegetables, mixing salads, arranging dishes. Her father stayed in the garage, fussing with the grill, muttering at tools as usual. Pre-party chaos, familiar and comforting. Marcus and Ara were due to arrive Saturday afternoon, and Nia waited for the moment with a knot in her stomach. And then Saturday arrived. Around 1 o'clock, The familiar Lexus rolled into the driveway. Marcus stepped out first, grinning, a little sunburned from a recent trip. And then, Ara Starling. Her mother-in-law looked odd. Immaculate clothes, elegant pearls, flawless makeup, but her face carried a strange intensity, a certain eager shine that put Nia on edge. "Hello, everyone." Ara chirped, arms open wide. "I'm so delighted to see you." As she hugged Nia's mother, then her father, then Nia. All the embraces were polite, quick, overly polished. "What a lovely little house!" Ara exclaimed, glancing around. "So quaint. Reminds me of a summer cottage." A summer cottage. Nia had to bite her tongue. To Ara, their family home was just a glorified cabin. Come in," her mother said brightly. "Lunch is ready." "I told her I wouldn't," Marcus replied. "But you didn't tell her to stop. You didn't set boundaries. You didn't defend us." "Nia." "She's my mother." "Marcus, I'm your wife. 7 years, I've endured her stunts, her insinuations, her attempts to tear us apart. I'm not asking you to stop talking to her. I'm asking you, for once, to stand by me, to defend me, to stand on my side. I'll talk to her." "You've talked to her 100 times. Nothing changes. So, what do you suggest?" Nia understood the risk, but she saw no other way. Marcus opted for a compromise. He spoke to his mother, making it clear he would no longer tolerate insults aimed at his wife. Ara quieted down for a while, but Nia knew it was only the calm before the storm. Her mother-in-law was scheming, plotting something designed to remove the hateful daughter-in-law once and for all. Now, in the 8th year of their marriage, they were preparing to return home for her father's birthday. 60 years was a milestone. Her parents would be delighted to see both their daughter and her husband. But Marcus insisted Ara come as well. "She wants to get to know your parents better," he explained. "Better. Your mother met them at our wedding. Your mom wore black. That was 8 years ago. People change. Your mother doesn't, and she never will." Still, Nia couldn't refuse. It would look odd not to invite her. It was her father's celebration, a family gathering. Why shouldn't her mother-in-law attend? What Nia didn't know was that this trip would become a turning point, that the events of the coming days would turn everything upside down, and that she would finally see the true face of the man she had been married to for 8 years. For now, she simply packed her suitcase and reflected on life's strangeness. Sometimes it takes years to see the obvious, and sometimes just one moment, one look, one action can reveal everything. Her moment of truth was approaching. Nia arrived in Mon 2 days before the party. She wanted to help her parents prepare and spend quiet time with them alone, without Marcus or his mother. Set boundaries. Clear, firm boundaries. And if she crosses them, cut contact. Cut contact with my own mother. Yes. Until she learns to respect our marriage. The wedding itself was modest, just as Nia had insisted. 50 guests at a cozy downtown restaurant, live music, and a simple yet delicious menu. Ara sat throughout the evening with a stony expression. She didn't dance, barely spoke, and offered congratulations only through gritted teeth. "Congratulations," Ara said to Nia once the guests had left. "You got what you wanted. You got my son, but remember, Marcus was mine, and he will always be mine. You are just a temporary fixture." "A temporary fixture," Nia scoffed. "Ni just got married. That's supposed to be forever. Forever." Ara let out a dry, unpleasant laugh. "Your naive child. Let's see how long your forever lasts." That was 8 years ago. 8 long years of cold wars, subtle malice, and constant jabs. The first year of their marriage passed relatively quietly. The Newlyids lived in their rented apartment, and Ara rarely visited. She didn't want to stoop to visiting what she called that hovel. But even her rare visits were unforgettable. Nia remembered vividly how her mother-in-law would arrive unannounced, using the spare keys Marcus had given her. Just in case, she would sweep in, inspecting the apartment as if she were a health inspector, and immediately begin criticizing. "What are these curtains? Where did you dig those up?" "A thrift store. There's dust on the shelves." "Nia, do you ever clean?" "Marcus, son, you look thin. Is she not feeding you?" Nia didn't stay silent. She wasn't the type to take insults meekly, but she answered carefully, avoiding an outright confrontation. "We'll like the curtains," she said. And Marcus lost weight because he started hitting the gym. Ara simply pursed her lips and shot Nia a look that could annihilate. "You're too sassy," she said once. "Marcus doesn't mind." Nia shot back. "He loves me the way I am, and if you don't like it, that's your problem." Her mother-in-law went pale with anger but managed to contain herself. Clearly, she hadn't anticipated such resistance. But the real battle began later. When Nia got pregnant. It all occurred during the second year of their marriage. She and Marcus believed they were happy. They talked about their future, picked out baby names, and imagined raising their child together. But Ara's reaction to the pregnancy was odd. She didn't celebrate, didn't congratulate them. She only said, "I hope the baby looks like Marcus and not," letting the rest hang in the air. Nia understood exactly what she was implying but held her tongue for the sake of her unborn child. Then everything fell apart. At just 8 weeks, she miscarried. The doctor tried to reassure her, saying, "These things happen, especially with a first pregnancy. Your body wasn't ready. There's nothing to fear. You can try again." Nia was still in the hospital when Alara arrived to visit. Alone, since Marcus was stuck in an important meeting. Her mother-in-law sat by the bed, wearing a look of satisfaction. Not joyful, but undeniably pleased, as if something had gone in her favor. "Such a pity," she murmured, inspecting her nails. "Poor Marcus will be devastated. He already knows." Nia replied softly. "I called him myself." "Knowing is one thing." Ara sighed. "Actually facing it is another. Do you understand what this means?" "What does it mean?" Nia asked. Ara leaned in closer, her heavy sweet perfume almost suffocating. "It means you can't give my son what he needs. An heir, someone to carry on his line. Maybe this is a sign. Maybe the two of you were never meant to be." Something inside Nia cracked. Not because of the insult. She had grown accustomed to Ara's poisonous comments. But because she realized this woman was truly glad she had lost her baby. Glad for her pain. "Get out," Nia said, her voice rough but steady. "What? Get out? How dare you?" Nia pushed herself up on her elbows, ignoring the pain. "Leave. And if you even try to repeat a single word of what you just said to Marcus." Her eyes hardened. "I will tell him everything. Everything Ara had said over the years. All the insults, every cruel trick." Nia remembered, but she said nothing to Marcus. Not out of fear, but because she didn't want to deepen his grief. He was already devastated by the loss of their baby. But from that day forward, something shifted. Nia stopped holding back. The next time Ara showed up unannounced, Nia met her at the door. "Good afternoon. Next time, call ahead. I have keys." Her mother-in-law replied boldly, "You had keys. I'm asking Marcus to take them back. Go ahead, try it." Nia did, and to her surprise, Marcus agreed. After a long conversation filled with tears and explanations, he took the keys back from his mother. The scandal was enormous. Everyone cried, shouted, and accused Nia of every imaginable sin, but she didn't relent. This was her first serious victory. She realized that if she stood her ground, she could achieve results. Her mother-in-law, however, was far from defeated. She simply changed tactics. Open attacks were replaced by subtle insinuations, blunt insults turned into sympathetic remarks. "Oh, Marcus, you look exhausted. Nia must be running you ragged with her demands. Son, I hear you two are having financial troubles. Perhaps Nia should find a better job or quit entirely and focus on the home like a proper wife." Drip, drip, drip. Those words slowly, but surely began to erode their marriage. In their third year together, Nia enrolled in an online business program at the state university. She studied evenings and weekends, balancing it alongside her job. It was challenging, but she managed. When Era learned about it, she winced. "Why do you need a degree? You should be having another baby instead." "A baby will come when we're ready," Nia replied calmly. "And this degree is for my career." "A career for a woman. How selfish," Ara said. "It's not selfish. It's common sense," Nia shot back. By the fourth year of their marriage, Nia graduated with honors and secured a position as a financial analyst at a major firm. Her salary doubled. She felt proud of her accomplishments. Marcus, however, reacted strangely. He didn't celebrate or congratulate her. Mom thinks a woman shouldn't earn more than her husband, he said. Era thinks a lot of things. Nia retorted. But we live our life, not hers. I know, it's just forget it. Marcus replied. But Nia couldn't forget. With each passing year, Marcus began to mirror his mother. Her inflections, her phrases, her expressions. Ara was slowly, relentlessly shaping him to her will. In their 5th year, Marcus's stepfather, the man who had raised him since he was 5, passed away. Widowed, Ara became even more unbearable. She demanded constant attention, took offense at the smallest things, and manipulated Marcus with guilt. I'm all alone now, she would cry over the phone, portraying herself as abandoned. My own son has left me. Mom, I haven't left you. I have a wife. A wife. That woman isn't family. She's using you. Nia would overhear these calls, grinding her teeth, yet stayed silent, for Marcus's sake. In their 6th year, Era attempted to move in temporarily, claiming she needed support while grieving. Absolutely not, Nia said firmly. But she's my mother. Marcus protested. If she moves in, I move out. Are you threatening me? I'm telling you the truth. I will not live under the same roof as your mother. Non-negotiable. Marcus chose his wife. After difficulty and a huge fight. But in the end, he chose her. Ara remained in her own house. Another win for Nia. But the war was far from over. In their 7th year, Ara launched a new campaign. She began planting doubts in Marcus's mind, hinting that he needed a normal wife. Domestic, obedient, less independent. She suggested Nia worked too much, cared too little for the home, and was using him for money and status. Mom, that's not true, Marcus said. It is true, Marcus. You just don't want to see it. Marcus told Nia about these conversations, not to complain, but out of honesty. Nia took it as a warning. She's trying to push you toward another woman, she said. And you just listen.
Mom, come on, Marcus said, placing a hand on his mother's shoulders. Nia is beautiful. Truly beautiful. Era responded with a tone that seemed to say, well, if that's what you want to believe, fine. Come in, lunch is getting cold. At the table, her mother-in-law put Nia under a full-scale interrogation. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? Who are your parents? Where did you go to school? Where have you worked? Each answer Nia gave was met with a faint eyebrow raise or a barely perceptible purse of the lips, a silent judgment hanging in the air. So, your father was a union foreman, clear enough, and your mother, a nurse, also clear, so no one in the family has a college degree. I have my associate's degree, Nia replied, feeling irritation rising. And I plan to enroll in night classes for my bachelor's. You plan to? Era's smile was dripping with condescension. Oh, plans are all well and good. The real question is whether you'll actually follow through. I will see them through. Nia met her mother-in-law's gaze without flinching. I'm used to going after what I want. For a fleeting moment, surprise flashed in Era's eyes. She clearly hadn't expected such pushback. But she quickly regained her composure and shifted the topic. After lunch, Marcus stepped out onto the balcony to make a call, leaving Nia alone with Era. Pouring tea from an expensive porcelain set, Era's movements were deliberate, graceful. Nia, she began without looking up from the cups. I see you're a sharp young woman, so I'll be direct. Marcus is my only son. I raised him alone, poured everything into him. He is my life, my pride, my everything. And I will not let just anyone take him from me. I'm not trying to take him from anyone, Nia replied calmly. I just want to be with the man I love. At last, Era looked up, her gaze cold and piercing. Sweetie, don't make me laugh. Love, you saw a man who is financially secure and decided you hit the jackpot. That's not love. That's calculation. The Nia set her cup down slowly, her hands steady, a point of pride. You don't know me, she said evenly, and you have no right to judge. I love your son. I love him. Not his money, his house, or his car. If that's something you can't understand, I feel sorry for you. Sorry. Era raised an eyebrow. For me. Darling, you'll regret those words. Just then, Marcus returned, and the conversation ended. But Nia never forgot that look, those words. She understood clearly. Era Sterling had declared war. At the wedding, her mother-in-law made her stance unmistakable, wearing a black dress. Not a mourning dress, simply black, elegant and expensive. But the message for Nia was unmistakable. That day wasn't a celebration. It was a funeral. The funeral of her hope that her son would be hers alone. "Why is your mom wearing black?" Nia whispered to Marcus before the ceremony. "It's her favorite color," he replied dismissively. "Don't read into it." She would hear that phrase countless times whenever she tried to get Marcus to notice his mother's meddling, and Marcus' actions spoke just as loudly. He was caring, attentive, and supportive. When Nia caught a nasty flu, he came by every evening after work, bringing medication and homemade chicken soup. When she had problems with her manager, Marcus would patiently listen and offer thoughtful advice. When she confessed that she dreamed of earning her bachelor's degree, he immediately offered to pay for her online night classes. He seemed like the perfect man, almost perfect, if not for one thing: his mother. Nia first learned about Era Sterling 3 months into their relationship. Marcus had mentioned his mother before, but only casually. "Mom called. I'm stopping by my mom's. She asked me to drop this off." Nia hadn't thought much of it. Everyone has parents, after all. But then Marcus said, "I want you to meet my mom. She's really insistent." "Insistent?" Nia asked, surprised. "She knows about me," he added. "Of course. I told her everything." "And what did she say?" Nia asked. Marcus hesitated for just a fraction of a second, enough for Nia to notice. "She wants to meet you, to see the girl who conquered her son." The word conquered felt strange to Nia. Not fell in love with him or made him happy, but conquered, as if she were a besieger and Marcus a fortress she had stormed. Their introduction took place on a Sunday at his parents' estate in Buckhead. Marcus drove her there, and the entire ride, Nia was tense. It was silly, of course. She was a grown, independent woman. What did she have to fear? The house was breathtaking at first sight. Massive. A 5-bedroom estate with soaring ceilings and ornate moldings. Antique furniture, crystal chandeliers, heavy, framed paintings. It was a display of grandeur and old-world elegance. Nia had grown up in a modest 2-bedroom apartment in Bonn and had only ever seen this level of luxury in movies. "Like it?" Marcus asked, noticing her eyes lingering on the grand surroundings. "It's impressive," she admitted. "It's my grandmother's place. Mom loves it. She manages every single detail," Marcus explained. Era Sterling emerged from the living room to greet them. Tall and stately, in her late 50s, with flawless hair, an elegant dress, and a strand of pearls around her neck, she regarded Nia the way someone might appraise an expensive item in a boutique. Measuring, weighing, calculating its worth. "So, this is the one," she said, skipping a proper hello. "Not, Marcus has told me so much about you, just those words. Sharp and evaluative. I was starting to think you might be some kind of flawless beauty." Nia froze. What was that? A backhanded compliment, an insult disguised as politeness. Yet somehow, that beauty stirred a wave of unease, as if warning of something bad to come. 8 long years she had been married to Marcus Hayes. And throughout all those years, his mother's presence had been a constant shadow over their marriage. Not merely present, but meddling, controlling, corrosive. Nia wasn't the kind of woman to quietly endure disrespect. She had grown up in a simple yet strong family, where one lesson was drilled into her from an early age: respect yourself and others will respect you. Her father, Clarence Dixon, Cal to his friends, spent his life as a union foreman at the local plant. Her mother, Brenda, worked as a registered nurse at the county hospital. They weren't people with lofty ambitions, but they had firm principles and hearts as big as their values. Nia Bug. Her father used to say during her teenage years, "Remember this, nobody has the right to talk down to you. Not a boss, not a husband, no one. You are a person, and that says it all." She never forgot that advice and lived by it. At work, she could put a rude client in their place. With friends, she refused to be manipulated, but dealing with her mother-in-law was far more complicated because Marcus always came between them. the man she loved, the man for whom she would do a lot, but not everything. Their story had begun 9 years ago. On an ordinary Tuesday, Nia was working as a senior administrator at Peach Tree Dental Group, a high-end private clinic in Atlanta. It wasn't physically demanding work, but it was stressful. Constant complaints from patients, demanding doctors, endless calls, and never-ending scheduling. At least the pay was reliable, and the hours were reasonable. Marcus came in, clearly in agony. A wisdom tooth had decided to act up at the worst possible moment, right before a major business trip. Nia was reviewing his chart when she noticed him wince, his palm pressed to his cheek. "Does it hurt badly?" she asked, keeping her tone professional rather than sympathetic. "Tolerable." He attempted a smile, but it came out more like a grimace. "Honestly, it's unbearable. Dr. Samuels is an excellent specialist, though," he added, trying to mask the pain. "He'd take care of it quickly and almost painlessly." Almost, he raised an eyebrow. "Well, nothing in dentistry is completely without an almost," he added. Nia allowed herself a small smile. An hour later, he left, pain-free, but now with her phone number. She didn't even notice how it happened. He asked, she answered, and it all felt completely natural. The first few months of their relationship felt like a fairy tale. Marcus courted her perfectly. Flowers, upscale restaurants, romantic walks around the city. He was a department head at a major tech firm, earned well, drove a brand new Lexus ES, and rented a stylish apartment in a nice neighborhood. By Nia's standards, he was the ideal catch. "He loves you," her mother would say over the phone. "I think so, Mom." "You think so, or you know so." "I know so, Mom. He tells me every day." Words are one thing, but actions are what matter. During a family dinner, I noticed my mother-in-law pouring something into my glass of juice. I quietly swapped my glass with my husband's. Just 5 minutes later, welcome to Betty's Stories. I share new life stories here every day, and I'd be so grateful if you could like this video and hit subscribe. Now, let's get back to the story. I'm sure you'll enjoy it if you stay until the very end. Nia's phone buzzed in her pocket, and without even looking, she knew it was her mom, Brenda Dixon, her mother, always called at the same time, around 700 in the evening, just after finishing tidying the kitchen and settling in front of the TV to relax. "Baby girl, you didn't forget, did you? Sunday is your daddy's birthday party. 60 years old, can you believe it?" Her mother's voice carried a mix of excitement and joy. "You all coming, right?" You all, plural, meant both Nia and Marcus. And wherever Marcus went, the shadow of his mother, Ara Sterling, always followed, the woman whose very name made Nia clench her fists without realizing it. "Of course, Mom. We'll definitely be there." "That's wonderful." "I've already planned everything. Your daddy loves it when the whole family comes together. You know, he's not one for big crowds, but his own." "That's different. His own." Nia hung up and gazed out the window. The late September sunset was fading, draping the sky in deep scarlet hues. It was breathtaking,